What is our teaching philosophy? That's the question we're tackling today in the Juggernaut Republic. Hey friends, today we're exploring our teaching philosophy to help guide you up Juggernaut Mountain. And our philosophy begins with the metaphor of the Juggernaut Republic and Juggernaut Mountain. So this is a Juggernaut Republic, where all of you learners reside. And this is Juggernaut Mountain, which represents your goals, which will be like your goals in life, your goals in your career, whatever it is you hope to accomplish. Just like climbing a mountain, you don't just wake up one day and reach the summit. You have to plan, you have to train, you have to get supplies, and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we're here for, to help you in whatever way we can to climb Juggernaut Mountain and reach the summit, to accomplish all of your goals. We believe that this help is necessary because, Juggernaut Mountain is a particularly daunting climb and a pretty good metaphor for advancing your career or your life goals or whatever it might be. There are a lot of people at the bottom of the mountain, and they're all eager to start climbing, but they don't exactly know where to begin. The mere fact that you're here and ready to start building your skill set puts you ahead of these folks. You understand that if you want to climb the mountain, you have to put in the time, the work, the training. And as you begin your climb up the mountain, you see a lot of other climbers, each tackling a different path because, after all, we were all told that we could be whatever we wanted to be. But you also see lots of obstacles, and we weren't always told about all of those. You see outcroppings, you see sheer vertical walls, you see rocks that almost seem to be hurled down the mountain at you, and you definitely weren't expecting that, but yet here they are. And you realize that in addition to the typical obstacles that you might have anticipated, there are other obstacles being hurled at you by a rock monster. I want to stop here just for a moment and say that I know that all of you are impressed with my drawing and you wonder why I didn't pursue a career as a professional artist. But please don't be mesmerized by my incredible animation skill, because we need to address the rocks and we need to address the rock monster. But seriously, you're going to encounter obstacles like this. And the first thing we want you to recognize is that these rock monsters, they're not to be destroyed or to be defeated in the way that you might expect, but rather they're to be worked around. You see, everybody thinks the rock monster is throwing rocks directly at them, that the monster is trying to hurt them and only them. They feel like they're being persecuted, that they're being targeted. They might say things like, I would have gotten the raise, but my supervisor hates me, or I can't ever get promoted because I don't get the good projects. And then the problem here is that when people feel like they're being targeted, then they can limit themselves because they feel helpless. Or they might lash out because they feel it's unfair. And then that lashing out only ends up setting them back. To be clear, we are not saying that things are always fair. And we are not saying that there aren't obstacles. Some of these obstacles are structural and massive, and some are the interpersonal obstacles that each of us face. There are all sorts of rocks being thrown down the mountain, but your focus should not be on the rock monster, but rather how to maneuver by and through the rocks. See, so many people are focused on the monster that they get blindsided by a rock, or even by a simple pebble on the path, and it knocks them back down the mountain. A lot of people don't recognize this, and you see fewer and fewer climbers as you approach the top. But as you get closer to the top, you find that a lot of the obstacles seem to melt away, and that a lot of those rocks are now going over your head and landing behind you. This is great because it's, getting easier, but it's also easy to get comfortable, to think that you've made it, to stop working to become a better climber, but you can't do that. Because with work, with diligence, with training, you can make it past the rock monster. And a handful of people do. And they're proud because they made it to the top. And as they survey the land below them, they see an even bigger rock fly by them. And this one's on fire. Like, how is that possible? Like, where's that flaming boulder coming from? After all, they're at the top. And a lot of people stagnate there at what they believe to be the top of the Juggernaut Mountain, past the rock monster. But a few brave souls keep moving forward, and they see that they aren't actually at the summit, but they're only on a plateau, and there's a lot of mountain left to climb if they really want to do their best. The people behind you who think they're at the top, those people have stagnated. Those are the people who blame outside forces for their lack of development. They don't have any ownership over their own power. These flaming boulders are new procedures that are dumb because we've always done it this way, or it's a new technology, or it's a changing workforce, or it's always something, and it's disempowering. You need to keep climbing because there's something up there that needs to be overcome. It's not a rock monster, it's a dragon. It's a dragon that apparently sets boulders on fire and then chucks them down the mountain. Now, let's not get too hung up in my fantasy story, but let's focus on the metaphor. There's a lot of climbers who focus on the wrong things. They feel blamed. They feel persecuted. They feel overwhelmed. They hold themselves back. The savvy climbers are the ones who work their way through the obstacles, the ones who don't fool themselves into thinking they've reached the summit when there's a whole lot more mountain left to climb. Just because it's flat doesn't mean it's the top. It's a process that will take you a lifetime because you can always do better. You can always learn more. Good work on taking the first step by watching this. This is the motto of Juggernaut Training. The way to reach the peak of Juggernaut Mountain. ABC. Always be climbing. So let's keep this conversation going in the comments section. Let us know what you think of this metaphor, what worked for you. If something didn't work for you, we want to hear about that too. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notifications button so that you'll know when we upload new videos. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide on this stage of Juggernaut Mountain. And until next time, ABC, always be climbing.